it is important for us also to understand the process of creation, and so that we can understand the complexities behind the creation, and so that we can appreciate the greatness of the Lord who has created this creation and what is the purpose of creation. So we are all created beings within this cosmic manifestation. What is the purpose of our existence? What is the purpose of the existence of so many objects and things around us? So only if we understand these aspects with full clarity, can we make attempt to get out of this creation, because that is the purpose of human life. So every jiva is endowed with certain intelligence. For example, even insects have some intelligence by which they can understand where their food is. So ants have certain intelligence by which they can immediately come to the place where there is sweet or where there is sugar. So every jivas is endowed with certain intelligence, but most of it is only for sustenance purpose. But as human beings, the intelligence that is given to us by Bhagavan also transcends this intelligence of other species, which is primarily for their sustenance and reproduction. So the intelligence for human beings help the humans to transcend this aspect of just existing, and they can then question about the higher truths beyond their existence. And so a proper intelligent being should understand that all the beings produced in this universe are limited within time and space, and so one should not try to enjoy within this limited universe and try to seek one's eternal nature. And when one's intelligence is directed in this way, then the Vedas give answers to those questions. And so if one understands the answers through the lens of Vedas, through the lens of Shastras, then one shall be able to reach the right conclusion. And so from that perspective, we must try to understand the cause of this creation. So Shukadeva Goswami questioned about the process of creation, how Lord has created this universe. And to answer that question, Shukadeva Goswami answers this question by relating a conversation between Narada and Brahma. So Narada had this question in mind. He had similar question and he asked his father Brahma, and Brahma begins to answer this question. So in the chapter 5, the questions asked by Narada to Brahma are explained. So let us go through them one by one. So in the chapter 5, Narada Uvacha, Deva Deva Namastestu, Bhuta Bhavana Purvaja, Tat Vijanihi Yajnanam, Atma Tattvam Nidarshanam. So Narada is addressing Brahma as Deva Deva, creator of all the demigods. Namastestu, my humble obeisances to you. Bhuta Bhavana. So you are the generator, creator of all the bhutas. So bhutas means both inanimate and animate objects that we are seeing around us. So all the objects, both sentient and insentient beings, can be grouped under a single word called bhuta. So bhuta bhavana, bhavana means to the source of the bhuta. So bhuta bhavana, purvaja, you are the source of all the bhutas, all the insentient and sentient beings. Tat vijanihi yajnanam atma tattva nidarshanam. So therefore, because you are the source of all the bhutas, all the sentient and insentient beings, you alone are capable of explaining what is that knowledge by which the Atma Tattva becomes manifest. Yajnanam Atma Tattva Nidarshanam. The knowledge by which the knowledge of the self and the super self, knowledge of Jivatma and Paramatma is Atmanyanam. So Atma Tattva Nidarshanam. So please give us the knowledge by which we can understand the knowledge of the Jivatma and Paramatma, and the relation between Jivatma and Paramatma, and let it become manifest to me. So he is addressing Narada as Devadeva, because Narada is addressing Brahma as Devadeva, because actually he is a creator of the universe, but he should not have addressed Brahma as such, because Brahma is not the ultimate creator. Brahma is only secondary creator. But here Narada is mistakenly addressing Brahma as Devadeva, as if he is ignorant of the fact that there is no higher being than Brahma. And Brahma later corrects this. But let us first go through the questions that Narada asks. Yad rupam yad adhishtanam yata srishtam idam prabho. So if you take any creation, there is this rupam, yad adhishtanam. And there is also this background. The adhishtanam means for foundation. If you take, for instance, a painting has a form, and then it has a board on which it is made, painting is made. So that is adhishtanam. So this universe also has the foundation, and it has got its form. Everything in this universe has got some form. Yad rupam yad adhishtanam yata srishtam idam prabho. And it is created from some place. Yata srishtam idam prabhu. So this universe, it's not independent. Its form or its ingredients are not independently derived. They are all derived from Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Narada is asking, oh my dear father, please describe the form, the symptoms of this manifest world, and what is its background, yad adhishtanam, yata srishtam, and how is it created? Just like if a painter needs to paint something, we need some ingredient for painting. We need some paints, we need some brushes, paint brushes. So those are ingredients and instruments that are required for painting. Similarly, we see this universe before us, and it has so many objects. So from where these objects are created, or in other words, what is the ingredients by which this universe is made? Yata srishtam idam prabho yat samstam. And once this universe is destroyed, it is going to merge into something. So it is conserved in another form. This energy is conserved in a different form. Yata samstam yat param. And also this universe is under control of a being. So yat param yatsha tat tattvam vada tattvataha. So please describe this in fact. Vada tattvataha. Factually explain. So here Narada is not saying that universe came on its own, or it got randomly created, or it came into existence because of some interactions between some random events and so on. So he's clearly saying that there is a reason for this existence. And so if there is creation, if there is beautiful creation, very complex creation, though it is complex, it is working as if it is systematically happening. So he is seeing the orderliness behind the universe. And so because there is orderliness, because there is creation, there should be creator, and there should be ingredients by which the creators must have created this universe. And so Narada was asking such questions. Sarvam hi etat bhavan veda. Why should he ask that question to Brahma? Because already Brahma was addressed as Bhuta Bhavana. He was already addressed as the creator of all the Bhutas. Purvaja, but Brahma also existed in the beginning of creation. In fact, he was the only being who was in the beginning of creation. So therefore, he must have known all this. Even if he is not the supreme being, he should have been commanded by supreme being to perform the act of creation. So therefore, Brahma should have known everything. So therefore, sarvam hi etat bhavan veda. Bhavan veda, your good self knows sarvam hi etat, everything you know. Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu. And so everything that was created, everything that is existing, and everything that will be created, you are the master of everything. Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu. And this is also one of the names in Vishnu Sahasranamam. And this Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu, this is aptly suitable to address Lord Krishna only. So everything that was created or that is in existence currently or that will be produced in future, the master of everything is Krishna alone. So Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu Karamalaka Vishwam Yad Vishwam Vijnanavasitam Tava. And just like we know the situation of Amla in our hand, you know the situation of this creation, because this creation is just like a gooseberry in your hand. So which means Brahma is addressed as Sarvajna. He knows everything about this universe. So therefore, he is the only suitable person to answer this question. And so if he is going to answer, he has also got some knowledge, right? So Yad Vijnano, from what is the source of this knowledge? Yad Adaro, and under whose protection? Yad Adaro, under whose control and protection you got this knowledge? Yad Vijnano, Yad Adaro, Yad Parastvamat Yadatmakaha. And under whose subordination? Yad Parastvam, you, Yadatmakaha, Yekas Rijasi Bhutani, Bhuter Evatma Maya. Did you alone create, or did you take help of any other person to create? Yekaha Srijasi Bhutani. Yekaha, did you alone create? Yekaha Srijasi Bhutani, Bhuter Evatma Maya. And so, did you alone create all these entities with material elements by your personal energy? So, though Narada was addressing Brahma as Bhuta Bhavana Bhutesha or Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu or Purvaja, he still had the doubt whether Narada was the only cause of this creation, Brahma was the only cause of this creation, or there was a higher being who, under whose command, under whose subordination, Brahma had created this universe. So in order to clarify these doubts, Narada is asking these questions to Brahma. Atman bhavayasi tani na parabhavyam swayam Atma Shaktim Avashtabhya Urnanabir Ivaklamaha. So we all of us have seen the spider. So when the spider is creating a web or a web, by it first spits something from its mouth, and then using that ingredient it creates, and then when it creates the web and it exists in the web for some time, and then it pulls all the ingredients back and it swallows all the ingredients into its body. So just like that, Bhagavan is just like a spider. So in order to create this universe, there is no need for external ingredient for him. So he himself becomes a creation, just like the part of spider itself, the energy of the spider itself becomes the web. And so the spider creates the web. Just like that, Bhagavan creates this entire universe, and then spider stays in this web as the Adharam, as the foundation, and Bhagavan also stays in this universe as the foundational principle. And when everything needs to be destroyed, he swallows all the creation into him. So Bhagavan says this, Kalpakshaye Punastani Kalpado Visarjamyaham. So when at the end of each kalpa, the whole universe is destroyed. And at the starting of each kalpa, everything is manifest again. So Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita. So just like a spider, Krishna creates this universe, which means a spider is not depending on the external ingredients for creation. The spider's energy itself has become the creation. Or we can say spider, this creation is depending on the spider. So the web is not independently created by this. It's not independently created. It is depending on the spider. Just like that, this creation is depending on Bhagavan. And in fact, Bhagavan himself has expanded into creation. And when the time comes, all the energy will dissolve into him. Kalpakshaye punastani kalpada visrujamyaham. Urnanabir ivaklamaha. And Urnanabir is called spider, and spider doesn't require any help for doing so. Ivaklamaha, without any help, without any external help, it does all on its own. Naham Veda param hi asmin, na param na samam vipo. So in this universe, some beings are higher, because there are gradations within this universe. So some beings are considered higher, some beings are considered inferior, na param, aparam, and then some are considered equal. But none of these exists without the creation by your lordship. So Narada again addresses Brahma as the cause of this creation. Sa bhavan acharat goram. But I still wonder, why did you undergo great austerity? Goram tapas. So in the beginning of creation, in the Mahabharata, there is a statement that says that Brahma did tapas for koti kalpam in order to get the knowledge of creation. So in order to know how to create, Brahma was meditating for several crores of kalpam in the beginning of creation. So that was again amazing, because why should Brahma do so if he is the higher being, if he is the highest being? Sa bhavan acharat goram. So this is perplexing to Narada. I am thinking that you are the highest being, you are the supreme being, but you yourself did tapas before creation. Yat tapaha susamahitaha. Perfectly you did this tapas. Tena kedayase nastvam parashankam chayachasi. So when I think of your great austerities that you did in the beginning of creation, it is confusing to me. Though you are powerful in the matter of creation, it appears as if there was someone higher than you in power, and so you did tapas. So Narada asks these questions so that he can elicit answer from Brahma about the supreme most being, who is the cause of all the causes, who is the cause of this creation. Etanme prachataha sarvam sarvagnya sakaleshvaraha. So we have already said here sarvagnya is referring to Brahma, because he knows in and out of creation, the products of creation, the ingredients of creation, the purpose of creation, but his knowledge is not independent. That's why Narada also asked the source of the knowledge in the previous verses. So Yetanme Prachataha Sarvam. Now all these questions I have asked unto you because you are Sarvagnya, you know everything. Sakaleshwara, and you are also the controller of everything, because you created this universe. Naturally, you are also the controller of this universe. Vijanihi yatai vedam aham buddhe anushasitaha. So kindly explain these difficult subject matters in a way so that I can understand it properly. Aham buddhe anushasitaha. So I want to learn these aspects from you. So please explain me in a way that I can understand this properly without any difficulty. So after Narada placed all these inquiries, all these questions to Brahma, Brahma begins to answer the questions. So what are those questions once again? So Narada wanted to know the jnanam, the knowledge by which the Atma Tattva can be perceived. Atma Tattvam here means the knowledge of Jivatma and Paramatma. So the knowledge of both Atmas can be perceived. So that was the first question. And then he asks about the Rupam, the form of this universe, Yad Rupam, and the foundation, the background principle. Just like Krishna says, Sutre Manigana Iva. He says in the 7th chapter. So everything is happening as if there is nothing in background, as if everything is happening automatically. But in the background, there is a principle that is sustaining everything. In the absence of that principle, everything will fall apart. So yad adhishtanam, so the foundation behind the foundation of this universe, yata srishtam, and the source of the creation, the ingredients of the creation, idam prabho, yat samstam yat paramcha, tat tattvam vada tattvataha. So these, under whose control this universe is created, and what is the source of the knowledge of the creation, yad vijnano, yad adaro, yad parastvam, under whose subordination this universe is functioning, yad parastvam yadatmakaha. Eka srijasi bhutani. And did Brahma create it alone, or did he take help of anyone else to create? So these were the questions that Narada posed before Brahma, and Brahma begins to answer these questions from the 9th verse. Brahma uvacha samyak karunikasyeidam vatsate vichikshitam yat aham chodita saumya bhagavat virya darshane. So whenever right questions are asked to right people, the conversation becomes very important for all of us to understand. So here these questions are very important because the knowledge of the creation is essential if at all one wants to get liberated from this material existence. And if such questions are posed to the right person who is cognizant of the answers, then that becomes even more beautiful, the whole conversation. And when the questions are placed before the realized souls, related to the creation, related to the Lord, those realized souls become very happy because the topic matter of discussion is about Krishna. Just like when Shaunakadi Rishis asked about Krishna to Suta Goswami became very happy, and he started answering those questions in a very happy mood. And similarly, when Parikshit asked questions related to Krishna before Shukadeva Goswami also became very jubilant because the topic matters are enlivening all the senses. It is giving happiness to all the senses of our body, and one gets never satiated by hearing or by discussing the topics related to the glories of the Lord. So Brahma became very happy hearing all these questions. So Vatsa, or small child, so he is addressing Narada affectionately. Samyak Karunikasyetam. So you are very kind. You have asked these questions because in the answers to these questions are very helpful to all the ignorant beings within this universe, and you are doing so out of your causeless mercy. Samyak Karunikasya idam vatsate vichikshitam. And you are also very inquisitive to understand the creation, and that is very important. In fact, when Ramanujacharya was advised by his Acharya to not explain the meanings, secret meanings of Sharanagati and the mantras. He heard the mantras from his Acharya, from his spiritual master, and then he started broadcasting this knowledge to everyone. And when Ramanujacharya's spiritual master came to know of it, he became very angry because these topics cannot be discussed with people who don't know the importance of these topics. Why did you do so? You might have to suffer in hell for the offense that you did. Then Ramanujacharya explains that it doesn't matter if I'm going to suffer in hell. I don't mind. I'm only explaining to those people who are interested to know. So the Ichaye Adhikaram, one Alva says Ichaye Adhikaram. What is a qualification for a person to get liberation from this material existence? Is it great tapas, or one should be very highly qualified, or one should do great charity, or none of these? None of these are qualifications for liberation. So Alva says Ichaye Adhikaram. One must be interested, one must be inquisitive to understand one's eternal position. What is Atma? What is Paramatma? What is this samsara? What is this creation? And what is the nature of the existence beyond this creation? So if one is inquisitive, one becomes immediately eligible for understanding the knowledge about liberation. So Vatsa te vichikshitam. So Narada is Brahma is appreciating the inquisitiveness of Narada, vichikshitam. Yat aham chodita saumya bhagavat virya darshane. The such questions inspire answers that are related to Bhagavan, bhagavat virya darshane. So therefore these answers become the reason for one's knowledge, and knowledge becomes the reason for liberation. Just like ignorance is the cause of bondage, knowledge becomes the cause of liberation. And so such questions elicit answers that are related to Bhagavan, that are related to Krishna, the knowledge by which one can get liberation from this material existence. Nanritam tavatat shapi yata mam prabhavishi bo. And you have addressed me as Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu, as if I am the supreme most being within this universe. I don't think it is false. Whatever you said, I understand why you said. Whatever you have spoken about me is not false, because unless and until one is aware of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the ultimate truth beyond me, one is sure to be illusioned by observing my powerful activities. So it is very common in our day-to-day experience also. If we see someone who is extraordinarily talented in certain aspects, we immediately become inspired by such people. And for time being, we also forget that the abilities that they possess for time being is because they were because of the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All the abilities that we possess, whether it is our intelligence or beauty or the wealth that we possess, those things attract the people of this universe. Just like Elon Musk is a very wealthy man, and there are so many people who are inspired by Elon Musk because of his skills, entrepreneur skills, and because of his wealth. Some people are inspired by Einstein. No doubt they are wonderful, brilliant scientist he was, who wrote many difficult papers on relativity and so on. So we get inspired by powerful people of this universe, forgetting that the cause of their beauty or intelligence or their wealth is Bhagavan. So unless we know Bhagavan, we tend to miscalculate the people of this people within this universe, and sometimes we may address them with words that they don't deserve. We may say, you are my cause of the existence. Sometimes people say, sometimes especially in politics, the people, the common masses, they address the politicians with such words. We can see them on posters. So that is because of the ignorance of the greatness of Bhagavan. When one actually knows the greatness of Bhagavan, one immediately becomes cognizant of the fact that it is Bhagavan alone who is this creation, and it is Bhagavan's opulence that are scattered in various objects within this creation. So one may be beautiful, one may be intelligent, one may be very educated. All those are opulences that are to be respected, but those are coming from Bhagavan. So his Vaibhavam is just the spark of his Vaibhavam is just spread across all these objects within this creation. So therefore, Brahma says, whatever you have spoken is not false, because unless and until one is aware of the Bhagavan, personality of Godhead, who is ultimate truth beyond me, one is sure to be illusioned by observing my great powerful activities. So therefore, we must understand the Supreme Being who is the cause of this creation, who is the cause of all the opulences that we see around us. So in the text 11, Brahma says, what is the source of his knowledge? What is the source of creation? Yena sva rochisha vishvam rochitam rochayamyaham. So the cause of this creation, the cause of this universe is said to be Brahman, according to Upanishads. Upanishads declare in various places that Brahman is the cause of this existence. Sarvam kalavida Brahma. Everything is Brahman. So here, that Brahman, the Brahma Jyoti, is because of Krishna. Krishna says, Brahmano I aham pratishta. So the Brahman that we are seeing, that is addressed as the cause of this creation by all the Upanishads, is none other than Krishna himself. So Yena Sva Rochisha Vishwam. Rochisha means effulgence, the Brahma Jyoti, the Sva Rochisha, by the effulgence of the Brahman, Vishwam Rochitam. So this Vishwam is manifested from the Brahman, the Brahma Swarupam, which is none other than Krishna. Yana Swaruchisha Vishwam Rochitam Rochayamyaham. So this creation is initially manifest by Brahman, and I'm only the secondary creator. So the ingredients were already there. I just created using these ingredients. Rochitam Rochayamyaham. Rochitam means it was already there in the potential form. I use those ingredients that were already there to create this universe. Rochayamyaham. How is there any example? Yata arko agnir yata somo yatarksho graha tarakaha. So from sun's illumination, from sun's energy, all the other non-luminant objects are deriving the ability to reflect light. So sun is the luminous object in this creation, and from sun's light, moon is reflecting that light, and the agni that we see, the electricity that we see, is reflecting the same light. But these lights that we see, they are not independent. So they are just reflecting the rays of the sun. So just like that, the creation that you see, I created taking the ingredients from Bhagavan, who by his own self-effulgence, Swarochisha Vishwam Rochitam, by his own self-effulgence, called Brahman, Brahma Swarupam, this Vishwam was already created, or the ingredients of this creation was already present in the potential form. And in Brahma Samhita also, there is this shloka which says, Yasya Prabha Prabhavato Jagadanda Koti, Kotishu Ashesha Vasudati Vibhuti Binnam. So this creation is very wonderful. There is opulence everywhere throughout this creation. There is variety everywhere throughout this creation. Vibhuti Binnam. But it is because of the Govinda, whose effulgence, whose Brahma Jyoti has expanded into this creation. Yasya Prabha Prabhavato Jagadanda Koti. So the crores and crores of this universe and the opulences and the variety that we see around us is just because of the opulence of the Brahma Swarupam. Tad Brahma Nishkalam Anantam. So this Brahman is unlimited, Anantam, and it cannot be imagined, it cannot be measured, or it cannot be comprehended or fathomed, and it is all pervasive. Ashesha Bhutam, Tad Brahma Nishkalam Anantam Ashesha Bhutam, Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. But this Brahma Swarupam is depending on Govinda. So in the very first verse of Bhagavatam, we have seen that it was mentioned that Bhagavan is Abhijna and Swarat. Abhijna means conscious. When we say Brahman, sometimes we tend to think of Brahman as insentient. But Upanishads declare, and Bhagavatam also declare, that it is not that fact. So this Brahman is fully sentient, fully conscious. Abhijna, it is said, fully conscious of each and every aspect within this creation. So he is the source of this creation, and I am just the secondary creator. Just like the source of all the lights that we see around us is sun. The sun is the independent entity. Everything else is just reflecting the light of the sun. I am also just taking the ingredients from Bhagavan, and I'm just performing secondary creation. I'm not the independent creator. Brahma says. Tasmai namo bhagavate vasudevaya dhimahi. And unto that Brahman, Brahma Swarupam, or the source of Brahma Swarupam, Tasmai namo bhagavate vasudevaya. So that to that Vasudeva, who is the source of everything within this creation, Vasudevaya dhimahi. Let me meditate on that Vasudeva. Yan mayaya durjayaya mam vadanti jagadgurum. So by being bewildered by the illusion of Govinda, yan mayaya durjayaya. And this maya is very difficult to overcome. Even great rishis, great demigods like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, they get overcome by maya sometimes. Yan mayaya durjayaya. Jaya means to win over, to conquer over. Durjayaya means that which cannot be conquered over. So this Maya cannot be conquered over by even great rishis, great yogis. Whose Maya? Vasudeva's Maya. Yan Mayaya. Vasudeva's Mayaya. Yan Mayaya Durjayaya. Mam Vadanti Jagat Gurum. And because of being illusioned by Maya of this Vasudeva, Mam Vadanti Jagat Gurum. Some people call that I am the master of this universe. So Brahma is directly admitting that he is not Jagat Guru and he is just creator, secondary creator through the words Rochitam Rochayamyaham. And in this verse, it is also mentioned that because of Krishna's Maya, that one misunderstands someone to be God. Just like here, Narada misunderstands Brahma to be the God or to be the ultimate source of this creation. So Brahma, because he knows the fact, because he is a Mahabhagavata, he is not becoming puffed up by such praiseworthy praises. Instead, he corrects Narada by saying that you are calling me Jagat Guru because you are also under the influence of his Maya. Vilajjamanaya yasya statu miksha pate moya. So this Maya, as we have mentioned, Durjayaya, it is very difficult to conquer over. But this Maya is still subservient to Bhagavan. Though it is so powerful that even great rishis, great yogis can be put under its influence, it cannot conquer over Bhagavan. It can never conquer over Bhagavan. Vilajjamanaya yasya statu mikshapate moya vimohita vikattante mamaham iti durdiyaha. But this Maya is very careful. It's very expert in putting the jivas into illusion. And what is the symptom of jivas who are placed in the illusion? Vimohita vikattante. By being covered under the influence of Maya, vikattante means to say, to speak nonsense. Vikattante, mama aham iti durdiyaha. So, though this Maya is so powerful, it can never touch Bhagavan, but it is still a lot more powerful to place jivas under its influence. And what is the symptom of jivas who are placed under the influence of Maya? Vimohita, they are bewildered, totally confused, totally forgotten state. Vimohita, vikattante, and they also speak nonsense. What is this nonsense? They speak mama aham. They speak that I and me, mine. So they say that I am so and so person. I am so and so. I am son of so and so person. I am father of so and so person. I am husband or wife of so and so person. And I am an Indian. So they take various identities because of this, because of being illusioned by Bhagavan's Maya. And they also identify various objects of this creation with them through possession, by thinking that they possess those objects. Mameti, aham mameti. So they utter so many nonsensical words, being bewildered. Vimohita vikattante. Vikattante means to say nonsense, to talk nonsense. Mamaham iti durdiyaha. And their diya, their intelligence is polluted because of the conceptions of I and mine. Mama aham durdiyaha. Their intelligence is polluted. So in that polluted state, in that impure state, they identify with the objects of this Prakriti, forgetting their real nature as Atma, and they identify with this Prakriti, thinking that they are part of this Prakriti. So these are all symptoms of jivas who are placed in Maya, and we can literally see every one of us who is in this creation is acting in so and so way. Even great nations, the United Nations, they talk about aham ameti. All the subject matters that we see are all related to this aham ameti. How to propel our self-interest and how to protect my people, how to make the life of my people comfortable, or how I can stay with comfort throughout my life. And that is why so many people discuss about economic development and so on, national interest, for instance. So all these talks are nonsensical talks. Bhagavatam says so. I'm not saying. So vimohita vikattante mama aham, aham mama. I possess this. This is my possession. This is my land. And this is my property. All these conceptions are because of one's impure intelligence, durdiya. And what is the reason for the intelligence to get dirty? Because those jivas come under the influence of Maya. And this Maya is the energy of Bhagavan. So therefore, this Maya cannot cover Bhagavan. Just like sometimes we see that clouds cover the sky, and we think that these clouds are covering the entire sun. But if you just move away from Earth and if you observe from space, this Earth itself is a very small fraction of sky, of the space, and sun is so large. So our understanding that the clouds are covering the sun is just illusion. So clouds can never cover sun, but clouds can cover us. So we may sometimes think that it is so dark because the clouds are covering. So similarly, Maya can cover us, tiny beings, jivas, but Maya can never cover Bhagavan. Dravyam karma cha kalascha swabhavo jiva evacha vasudevat paro brahman nachanyo arthas asti tatvatah. So whatever we see within this creation, dravyam, this creation has some dravyam, some ingredients, earth, water, pancha mahabhutam, by which it is made. And then we also see so many the interaction between these dravyam, karma, that is called karma. So the jiva, when it is combined with the prakriti, it involves in so many activities, and those activities are called karma. And this dravyam, this karmam, and then it also comes under the influence of kala, the time. So through the passage of time, we receive so many results, pious and impious results. Dravyam karma cha kalasya swabhavo jiva evacha. And every jiva has certain nature that is acquired because of the contact with the prakriti. So this swabhavam is not the actual nature of jiva. Actually, the nature of jiva is Sachidanandam. It is full of knowledge, full of bliss. Being part and parcel of Krishna, it is full of knowledge, full of bliss, full of eternity. But now it has forgotten its glory, having come into contact with this material nature. So it has acquired a different nature, and that is called swabhavam. Swabhavo jiva evacha. So these 5 elementary ingredients of creation, the Pancha Mahabhutam, the interaction between these ingredients, which are set up by the eternal time, Kala, and the nature of the individual living beings, all these put together is non-different from Vasudeva, Bhagavan. Vasudevat paro brahman, na cha anyo artha asti tatvatah. Na cha anyo. Anyaha means other than this. Na cha anyaha artha asti tatvatah. There is no value in any of this unless they are identified in relation to Vasudeva. Vasudevat paraha brahman na cha anya artha asti tatvatah. None of this has any value. This dravyam, these ingredients, the whole creation, the jivas that we see within this creation, this karma, this kala, all these are having some value only when they are identified, they are understood in relation to Lord Krishna. So therefore, in that sense, the entire creation is non-different from Bhagavan. It is just the expansion of his energy. Just like sun is non-different from sunshine. The sunshine, the light and heat of the sun are nothing but the energy of the sun. The light and heat of the sun cannot exist independent of the sun. So they are dependent on the sun. And at the same time, we can also say sun has spread its energy everywhere. So therefore, this energy is not different from the sun. So just like that, the whole creation that contains this energy, Parashakti, who are called Jivas, and Aparashakti, inferior energy, who are Pancha Mahabhutam and the 24 elements within this creation, though it is a combination of this Parashakti and Aparashakti, these Shaktis are not independent of Bhagavan because they have very thick connection with Bhagavan. Just like sun rays and sunlight are very tightly connected with sun, all of us are very tightly connected with Vasudeva. So Vasudevat Parabrahman Nacha Anyo Artha Asti Tattvatah. So there is nothing else that has any value beyond that which is in relation to Lord Krishna. And so that is made more explicit in the next verse by Lord Brahma. Narayana Paraveda, Deva Narayana Angajaha, Narayana Paraloka, Narayana Paramakaha. So Narayana is the object of all the knowledge. So we are trying to educate ourselves by going to schools, by going to colleges, and by doing research. So what is the purpose of all this knowledge? If we slightly think back and try to answer this question. So some may say, no, I'm trying to gain knowledge to get some decent living, to earn some wealth within this to live comfortably in this creation. And some may say, no, that is very inferior. No, my objective of knowledge is different. I am learning things so that I can help people. So I am somewhat broad-minded. I have my community to take care. So my knowledge is for the benefit of my community. Okay. Then if the communities get benefited, then what is next? They don't know. There is a stoppage there. Then scientists may say, no. Even those are inferior purposes. We have a higher purpose. We want to plan ahead for the future, and we want to understand the cause of creation and what is a Big Bang and what is this dark matter, dark energy, and so on. So each one considers the other as inferior, and so they have their own purposes of knowledge. For example, if you ask Elon Musk, he might say, no, everything is inferior. We must find some way to settle in Mars because this earth will not exist in future. So we have to go to Mars and we have to live there. So having gone to Mars, what is the next purpose? Then there is a stoppage there. So then he cannot answer. So all of them have identified some purpose for gaining knowledge. But then there is a limitation. When they hit the limitation, then they don't know what is beyond that. What is the purpose of knowledge? So everyone has some purpose of knowledge, but Vedas, which are also knowledge, inform us of higher purpose of all the knowledges. So Vedas say the knowledge is not meant just to earn some wealth. It is not just meant to help communities, or it is not just meant to settle in a different planet. In fact, that is derided in Vedas. So it is said, Brahma Bona Lokan Punaravartina Arjuna. So people like Elon Musk talk about settling in Mars, but Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, even if we go to Brahmaloka Paryantam, even if we go to Brahmaloka, one has to still come down and take birth in this Martyaloka. So all that are derided, they are not the objective of knowledge. Vedas clearly say. So what is the purpose then ultimately of all the knowledge that we are trying to get? The purpose of all the knowledge should be to educate us of our relationship between Krishna, that we are the separated part and parcels of Lord Krishna. And so therefore it is said here, Narayana Paraveda. So Narayana is the ultimate objective of all the knowledge that we are trying to get. Deva Narayana Angajaha. And one may also try to satisfy various devas and devatas by performing various sacrifices. But one may also be proud that I am a bhakta of so and so devata or so and so deva. But those devas are also Deva Narayana Angajaha. All the devas are identified as limbs or the part and parcels of Narayana, which means they don't have independent existence. Narayana Paralokaha. Similarly, just like what I have been saying, we have different goals. Some wants to go to Mars, some wants to attain heavenly planets, and some want to attain Siddhalokam so that they can enjoy their life in a very luxurious way. But wherever we go, the four problems of life, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, is always going to chase after us. So none of these lokas are permanent in nature. They exist for some time and even the happiness that they give us is also temporary in nature. So therefore, the ultimate loka that one must hope to achieve, one must wish to achieve, is Vaikuntha Lokam. So therefore, that is ultimate lokam, which is beyond this creation, which is not subject to the destruction, subject to the factor of time that we see within this creation. So therefore, it is the supreme loka among all the lokas. So Narayana Paraloka, Narayana Paramakaha, and Narayana, it is Narayana alone who is to be satisfied by all the yajnas, all the sacrifices that we do. So we perform various yajnas. Sometimes some yajnas are directed towards some devatas for the satisfaction of the devatas, but it is the Narayana who gets satisfaction by when we give the ahuti to those devatas. And it is the Narayana who gives the desired results through the devatas as instruments to the worshipper of the devatas. So therefore, Narayana Paramakaha, Narayana Para Yogo, and then we have great yogis who perform very difficult yoga to attain some yoga siddhis. And similarly, Sankhya yogis also discuss about the creation. They discuss about the purpose of creation, and they go into very minute detail of what these constituents of the creation are, so on, so on. And they achieve the conclusion that the Brahman is the source of everything. So therefore, this Brahman being non-different from Narayana is the purpose of all the yogas. Narayana Para Yoga, Narayana Param Tapaha. So we do various austerities. Austerities means we put some effort, we accept some difficulty to achieve some higher goal. That is austerity. So what is that highest goal that we should hope to attain through all our austerities? The answer is given: Narayana Param Tapaha, Narayana Param Jnanam. So the supermost knowledge, Krishna also says, Yat Jnanam Matam Mama. So Jnanam Teham Savijnanam, Idam Vakshyami Asheshatah, Yajnatva Bhuyo Anyoyad, Jnatavyam Avashishyate. So if you understand the knowledge about me, Jnanam Teham Savijnanam, Yad Vakshyami Asheshatah. So if you understand the knowledge about me that I'm going to speak in perfect knowledge, then there is nothing else to be known. Krishna says to Arjuna. And even Upanishads declare, I think in Kata Upanishad, it is mentioned that the knowledge, knowing after which there is nothing else to be known, is Narayana. Therefore, Narayana Param Jnanam, Narayana Paragatihi. And we also have various destination. Impersonalist, the Brahmajanis, they have their own destination to merge into Brahma Swarupam. And some wants to go to higher planetary systems. The Mimamsakas, they have their goal as the Swargaloka. To attain that, they perform various sacrifices. But all these destinations are not ultimate destination. Even for a Brahmajani who tries to merge into Brahma Swarupam, that is not the ultimate destination. Only the Vaikuntha Loka, where the Narayana is present, is the ultimate destination. So therefore, he is the Paragatihi. He is the ultimate destination to be attained. Tasyapi drashturishasya kutastasyakilatmanah srijyam srijami shashtroham ikshvaiva abhichoditaha. So inspired by him, choditaha, abhichoditaha means inspired by him, I perform this creation. So Brahma says, inspired by Narayana alone, I discovered what is already created by him under his vision as the all-pervading supersoul. Tasya api drashtur Ishasya Kutastasya Akilatmanaha. He is the Atma of the entire universe. Kutastha. And nobody can come over his intelligence. Or he is the one who is above everyone's intelligence. That is Kutastha. Prabhupada translates Kutastha as one who is above everyone's intelligence. Akilatmanaha. Srijyam Srijami Srishtaha. Srijya means that which was already created. Srijami, I discovered that and I created. Srishtaha, aham. Ikshasya iva abhichoditaha. And I did all this being inspired by Bhagavan. Abhichoditaha. So it is not that I had the knowledge of creation and I created everything on my own. It is based on his inspiration that I created this universe. So, and we can always see that here Prabhupada takes the example of Columbus in the purport. He says, the Lord inspires the individual soul to create what is already created by the Lord, and by the goodwill of the Lord, a discoverer of something in the world is accredited as the discoverer. So when we discover something within this universe, it is because the Lord has inspired the discoverer to discover that. Just like Newton sat under an apple tree, and when an apple fell on his head, he tried to understand why that apple fell. So something inspired him to search after the force that is pulling the apples or all the objects that are thrown towards the earth. So something inspired him. Similarly, when I was a class 11, class 12 student, I remember studying this, that the structure of benzene is an organic molecule. So a scientist was trying to understand the structure of benzene. And then in the dream, he discovered the structure of the benzene. So as if the snake was trying to catch its own tail. So then they discovered what is called this aromaticity of benzene, where that bond gets changed. It keeps changing between the carbon atoms. And similarly, Ramanuja, the mathematician Ramanuja, he discovered various theorems. He often attributes his discovery to Namagiri Tayar, Lakshmi Devi, saying that it was because of the inspiration by Lakshmi Devi that he discovered various theorems. So not only Ramanuja, sometimes we may also wonder, suddenly something strikes us. We may be thinking a lot about the problem, but the solution doesn't occur. But when we don't think about the problem, suddenly something, because of inspiration, we get some thoughts and we get solutions. So therefore, no one can accomplish anything without being inspired by Bhagavan. So Brahma creates this universe being inspired by Bhagavan. Newton discovered this gravity being inspired by Bhagavan. And Ramanuja discovered various theorems being inspired by Bhagavan. So it is only because of inspiration by Bhagavan, who is situated within the heart as Paramatma. Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Krishna says, Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. So the knowledge, the forgetfulness, everything comes from me, Bhagavan says. So he alone inspires everyone to act in certain way. And so therefore he is the ultimate cause. He is the cause of all the causes. And then why does some people not understand this fact? Because they are covered by Maya's influence. So Krishna says, Tribir Gunamair Bhaver Yebi Sarvam Idam Jagat Mohitam Nabijanati Mamyebya Paramavyayam. Tribir Gunamair Bhaver. So all the jivas are tightly bound by the tight ropes of the three gunas. Tribir Gunamair Bhaver Yebi Sarvam Idam Jagat. The entire universe, Sarvam Idam Jagat, Yebihi, this entire universe is being tied by the ropes of three gunas. Tribir Gunamair Bhaver, Yebi Sarvam Idam Jagat, Mohitam, and being tied by the three gunas, they are all illusion. They are all totally confused. They forgot their real nature. Mohitam, Na Abhijanati, they cannot know me when they are under delusion caused by the three gunas. Mohitam na abhijanati mamyebya paramavyayam. They cannot understand my superior nature, owing to the fact that they are tightly bound by the three gunas. So the three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas, is present in every aspect within this creation. So therefore, it is mentioned, sattvam rajas tama iti nirgunasya gunastrayah sthiti sarga nirodeshu grihita mayaya viboho. So the Supreme Lord, he accepts the three gunas. Being the master of the three gunas, he still accepts the three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas, for the purpose of creation, maintenance, and destruction. So when we want to create something, it is done under the mode of rajas. and maintenance require the mode of sattva, and then destruction at the end of the universe lifespan, it needs to be destroyed, and so that is to be performed and performed using the tamoguna. So therefore Bhagavan himself accepts the three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas, to perform the act of creation, maintenance, and destruction. Yet he is untouched by the three gunas, though he may accept the three gunas. And so therefore we have three gunavataras: Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. These are guna avatars of Bhagavan, Lord Krishna. So he it is nothing but the incarnation of Bhagavan after accepting the three gunas, but he never comes under the influence of the three gunas. Though he is thickly connected with the tasks of creation, maintenance, and destruction, he is not even slightly touched by the influence of the three gunas. He is always above the three gunas. So, in fact, it is mentioned, Aditya Varnam Parasas Tamasas Parastat. So, he is beyond the tamas, beyond this creation, beyond the samsara. So, therefore, the qualities of the samsara can never influence him. So, I'll take a break. We will continue this discussion in the next class, and thanks for joining. If there is anything we can discuss, else we'll close for today. Then we can end by chanting Hare Krishna. Please unmute and chant after me. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare